Thank you so much, sir. Thank you once again. Now, before I proceed further in the program, I would like to ensure that our guest of honor, Miss Oindrila Roy, is able to hear me and see me on her screen.
I can. I can.
Miss Roy, can you see me?
Yes, I can see
All
the
right.
slide.
Thank you so much. A very good morning to you.
Good morning to you too.
I will just take 2 minutes, Ms. Roy, to introduce you all to our audience, our virtual audience, and then we shall proceed for your. So, ladies and gentlemen, I take the privilege to introduce you all to our guest of honor, Ms. Andrea Roy, Head of Strategy, Essence India. Ms. Roy is a client-centric and solution-oriented communication specialist with over 20 plus years of experience. She uses the power of common sense, curiosity, and data to arrive at fresh and meaningful communication solutions. Prior to this, she has worked with Leo Burnett as Senior Vice President and Business Head and has managed over 30 integrated campaigns for brands such as Amazon Prime, HDFC Life, Tata Capital, Angel Broking, Tata Sampann, and many more. During her professional journey, she has worked with companies like Piramal Healthcare, GVK Airports, Edelweiss Tokyo, Sony Pictures, to name a few. Ms. Roy holds a master's diploma in communications from Delhi School of Communication and a bachelor degree from Delhi University. Thank you so much, Ms. Roy, for accepting our invitation to be here for the virtual orientation program Aspirations 2021. We are thankful to you for this. And at this note, without taking much of the time, I would request Ms. Roy to share her experiences and thoughts with the audience today. Over to you, Ms. Roy.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I would really like to thank all of you for giving me the privilege to be a part of this. And honestly, I mean, it is really a privilege to be speaking to the future leaders of tomorrow as we are right now, right? I'm truly honored to be a part of the beginning of this journey, and what a journey it is bound to be, right? Well, we are living, and everything that Mr. Sanjay Singh said before me, I'm just going to be echoing all of that, what he said, because yes, those are the hallmarks of our time right now, right? And yeah, we are living through absolutely unprecedented pace of change. And just to give you an example, so, and this is such a beautiful time to step into a completely new world when you get into the corporate life. Just to give you an example, it took India to 10 years, a decade, to go from 10 million internet users to 100 million internet users, right? After that, it took India 3 years to move that 100 million figure to a 200 million figure. After that, the journey from 200 to 300 took about 18 months. And the last 100 million we've added in less than a few months, right? Not even a year. So similarly for e-commerce, online education, telehealth, the numbers has been increasing at an unprecedented rate. Like what it would have taken us in terms of numbers to add in years, we've added it in months. The, the pace of change is humongous, right? And the point is that unfortunate thing is, like, we keep talking about that in our organization and everywhere else, that for us, the leaders of yesterday, the change is, the change has never been as fast. But the future leaders of tomorrow, this change is not going to be as slow ever again, right? So for me, it is very important that I look up to you guys as the guys who are going to lead us to through the next 10 years, 15 years of our career that's left. And we follow you rather than you following us into the new world. Yeah. Now, so there are a couple of things that I want to talk to you guys about, what you must focus on. And again, it is an observation of my journey through life over the last few years. And I don't claim to know anything or, everything. But the point is that the observations that I have of people who are going to really do well in the next coming few years, And that is what I'm going to share with you now. And the first and foremost, the most critical thing that people or leaders of tomorrow needs to remember, that in today's world, knowledge is ubiquitous. It is democratic, right? It is everywhere. Everyone has access to information, has access to knowledge. There is absolutely no bonus points for knowing more. However, what you need to do with the knowledge that you acquire today is to use it creatively. It is to use your knowledge in a creative manner to solve problems and innovate by solving problems. What Mr. Sanjay Singh was also talking about, right? Citing examples of all the incredible things that they are doing. And you know what? When you focus on using creativity, knowledge with creativity is really when you make a mark of difference. Look at this is something that I've always held. I mean, here is one person that I really, really look up to and have looked up to through my course of my journey, which is Steve Jobs. He was probably a pioneer who believed that knowledge is ubiquitous, and I need to give it a creative spin to create a company that is different. I need to create products that is different. And it is not a fluke that his company today is valued over 2 trillion, right? We pay the kind of premium that we do to have access to an Apple product purely because his products do have that creative twist which gives him the edge. And that's something that I keep thinking, all of us need to be apples of this world, to bring in that creative edge, to solve a problem, to rise above others, because everybody today has knowledge. All of you are going to learn the same thing, all of us. I must also tell you that I'm a student myself. I'm doing a certification course from Kellogg's. And every day when I attend my classes, the only thing that I keep an eye on is, yes, how do I use this information differently from all my fellow classmates? That's going to give me the edge, right? And, it's not only Steve Jobs. Look at Jeff Bezos, look at Zuckerberg, look at all the billionaires who've made it in today's world, the pantheon of the gods in today's world of business, entrepreneurship, etc. They're all people who are creative in nature. I don't mean, and by being creative, I don't mean that you need to be a great spokesperson, or you have to write well, or you have to draw well, or you have to do something creative. But it is about using your knowledge with a twist. And look at another example is that of this one, Elon Musk. Today, his company as an automobile expert is valued way much more than, say, a Ford, right? Why? Because for him, it wasn't good enough to be able to get the knowledge of how to make a car. Ford knew all that very well, right? There are Suzuki's of this world, there are n number of car companies, and they know how to do it better. But what Zuckerberg knew was that it is about solving a problem creatively. It is not about building another car. So when he went about setting up Tesla, the point was not to solve just a mobility issue. The point was to provide the earth with clean energy to be able to solve the mobility issue, right? Which is why today Tesla is a far more valued company than any other car company in the world. Yeah. So number one is to get thinking creatively. When whatever concepts you're learning, how are you going to be able to apply that differently? Which brings me to Elon Musk brings me to the second point that I want to talk to you guys about. The Gen Z is the first bunch of digital natives who will be joining the workforce. We were all digital migrants. Like, as old as I am, I think I entered the digital world along with my professional world. When I came into this world, emails were new to me. We didn't know what to do with mobile phones and other things, right? But you guys are digital natives, and digital natives have a inbuilt, inherent advantage over all of us who have been migrants, right? You all have grown up in a world which is free of borders, for you, your concerns are, encompass the world. You worry about clean energy, you worry about minorities, you worry about your mates children get exercising their right to education. You're not constricted, and you're not thinking about the only your immediate, neighborhood. You're not thinking about only yourself. You're thinking about the world. You're thinking about solving problems, and which is the voice we need in our conference rooms. We need youngsters like you to come in and help us shape a better world. And what I mean by that is, help us create products that is for a better world. Help us create communication, for example, that encompasses everybody and does not leave anybody aside. Every conference room today, I believe, needs a Greta Thunberg. In our organization, we have something called an executive committee, which, comprises of all the senior leadership of this, in this organization, which is Group M. We also have a YCO, because we truly believe that the young leadership of tomorrow is the leader. They bring in a voice that we sometimes, we probably, our experience stops us from thinking of those thoughts. Our experience goes against us being able to, seamlessly adapt to the new world. So what we are looking from the YCO in my organization, and from all of you when you join the workforce, is your voice of experience, is your voice of concern, right? So we need you guys to come in and talk. And so I need you guys to be conscious when you're attending classes, that what are the concerns of the world today that I need to take back to my workforce when I go there, right? And most critically, remember to speak up, because it's not our voice that is going to help us change this world. It is you, the new young leadership, that is going to help us create a better workforce where all of you will want to work tomorrow, right? The third thing that is again very, very close to my heart, and I lead that aspect of it in my organization, is diversity and inclusion, right? And as future leaders, we are looking at you youngsters to lead us to a more naturally inclusive world, where women are not faced with glass ceilings, where irrespective of people's backgrounds, people shine through their merit, right? The only barometer of success is hard work, is smart thinking, is inclusive thinking. And it is not about, it is a world of compassion. It is not a world of non-merit based growth that we have seen while we were growing the corporate ladder. And so which is being conscious of your unconscious biases and helping to chip it away. So today, for example, women in the workforce is what, 9%, though the figures quoted are 30%, and we are talking about laborers and all of that. But in a corporate environment, it is as low as 9%. Why? Because women drop off. And why do women drop off? Because we have failed to create a safe work environment for women to be there, where they can play a dual role of being a nurturer at home and nurturing her ambitions in the workplace. I truly and sadly believe our generation will not be able to solve this problem, try as hard as we may. We are looking at the future generation to come in and solve these problems, because y'all are far more inclusive, right? So it is so when I look at you guys, when I'm talking to you guys, I'm not looking at you as a student, because all of us are students, irrespective of our number of years of experience. What I am looking at up to you guys is as a future leader that is going to help organizations move from where, we are struggling to move ahead, to a place where we are going to be in a world where we are creating, solving problems from the world. We are creating a safe working experience, environment for all. We are, there are entrepreneurial side of you, which is helping us drive our organizations to in a new way. All of that, so which is why I really think that you guys are the future leaders. Just to give you an example, when I was moving on from my previous job, Leo Burnett, where I was kind of at pretty much a senior position, etc. The next job I was looking for, I was really the one of the things that I kept aside completely was the designation or the role I was going to play in the organization. My criteria for selecting the new job is where I can work with the voice of the experienced, where I can work with youngsters and young organization, where young people are given the leash in their hands to to help us move ahead. And the 3 years that I have been with Essence, it's such a beautiful journey because every day we are walking locksteps with youngsters. My experience, it really doesn't count anymore because the world has changed. I go to office every morning, looking forward to learning from the youngsters. And when I say this, I don't mean it in a facile manner because I have grown up in a world where people were consuming news through newspapers, through television. I know how to, do my strategy around newspapers, television, this, that, etc. The generation today, and nearly all of us today, consume news through our thumb. Now, how is my newspaper flipping strategy relevant in a thumb swept world? It is not. So while I am learning, I'm a student, I'm learning, I'm trying to figure out how to do this better, guys who instinctively know it is are you guys. So I am looking at you guys to help us move into this new world. And really, truly, when I say this, the corporate world is looking at the young leadership to come in and join us and change it and move it forward like it's never been before. So the only thing that I would really want to end this with is to say that, dear leaders of tomorrow, go seize the day. This is your moment. Make the best of it. The whole world is looking at you to join us as leaders who will guide us to embrace this complex, fast changing world, right? So when you're attending your classes, the last thing you should be doing is to silently observe and imbibe, but is to question, experience, think of it innovatively, think of it creatively, think of yourself as practitioner